Audio's back. Okay.
And I don't know where it cut off. So
Oh, that's okay.
stand by.
That's fine. Are we streaming live?
All right, you ready to go?
Yeah.
Maybe just like a quick apology or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're good.
Good? Okay, we're back. Live stream part 2. We're having a little audio issues. Sorry about that.
Part 2 of 2.
Part 2 of 2. Part 2 of 2. So I don't know where I was. I don't know what cut off. Probably in the middle of my sad story about the person dying. Anyway, so tourniquets are a big deal. Now, times you might need a second. So with smaller, more petite people, children, generally females, and the less gym ratty guys like myself, one tourniquet usually is fine, right? But when you start to have really bigger people of all kinds of different shapes and sizes, the more meat, so to speak, there is to compress, the higher the likelihood of needing a second tourniquet. And this is important. If you can slow down bleeding, but that doesn't mean you stop bleeding, which means you don't necessarily stop a life. So I'm a major advocate for having 2 tourniquets or 2 ways to stop that bleeding, okay? So if you have 1 tourniquet, I need an arm model. Can I get an arm model?
That's me.
An arm model. I'm going to have an arm model for this one so that I can show. So when you have your tourniquet and you apply, say you're applying to an arm, we'll say his hand is cut off right here. All right? He's got no hand. You only have to go 2 inches above the amputation or the laceration, right? So I said earlier, a lot of police and other agencies are saying high and tight all the way up to the armpit or all the way up to the groin on the leg. You don't have to go that high. So you just don't want to go right on the joint. So not right on the elbow, never around the neck. That's bad. That's really not good. Not a good look. Don't do that. Okay? So you want to go 2 inches above and keep the windlass on the outside of the arm, right here. Okay? So you can't see this, but it's on the outside of his arm. So we'll tighten, yay, we got all this, we got everything on, we've got everything strapped down, but we still have bleeding. So we need to apply a second, right? If you max this out as tight as you can go, which you're likely to do on a thigh or the bicep of a very strong or obese person, you're likely to max that thing out, and you'll have to have a second. So this is when a soft tee comes in really handy because you can separate them, make a big band, and you don't have to do all the threading stuff like you would with this. So you come right up behind, right on top of the other tourniquet, and you need to place them parallel to one another. Essentially, you're going to stack them so that they're close together, okay? Does this show up on the camera? Can you see this? They're stacked. Never cross them because you're defeating the point. You're trying to multiply the surface area on the skin in order to make it tighter, wider. You're trying to go wider. And soft tee makes a tourniquet that is wide. They make some that are very, very, very wide for this purpose, right? For a thigh wound or a big person. So you're trying to just increase the surface area as much as possible. So you stack them close together, never crisscross, and then tighten the second one down until the bleeding stops. And you can go back and check the first one if it feels a little loose then. If you're able to tighten it up, you can tighten it up too. Leave them both in play. Try not to mess with your first tourniquet if you can. Try to just leave it where it is. Note the times as best you can. If that means writing on the person, write on the person. Write on the tourniquet. The soft tee does have a place on it where you can notate the time. It's just smaller and it's harder to get to and it's harder to read. So this is your double tourniquet application. Are there any questions from the class? No. Very good. So we will release the arm model. Maybe. Boom. Boom. Wow.
Sweet.
There it is.
Thanks for saving my life.
Hey, you're welcome. Thanks for letting me save your hand. So there's your tourniquets, right? So there are other options. As I said, I want to say Sam Splint is making one now that works with a ratcheting system. There is the SWAT tourniquet, which is basically a giant rubber band that is about 2.5 inches wide. I think it comes in the Dyer Armory Medkit. and it's a great secondary option. They are hard to apply on your own because you have to wrap. You have to hold one spot and then wrap over the top of it. And if you're needing to apply to your arm, that's a bit of a challenge to do. So get yourself set up in order to save your own life or somebody you care about's life, because that's really the name of the game, is being an effective protector. So what should you do now? Well, number one, you should make sure that you have a training tourniquet. You can order one from North American Rescue's website. There are local distributors all around you if you're in a major metropolitan area where you can order them and buy them. You need to then take it home. You need to take it out of the plastic. You need to wrap it and stage it correctly, and you need to practice applying it. So you're going to get a trainer, and you're going to get one that's the real deal. Keep the real deal in your med kit or your pocket or wherever you need to be, and practice with the trainer until you get comfortable with it, and then do it some more. So practice strong hand, weak hand, both legs, doing it when you're tired, barely awake. Do all the things. If you have a family, teach your family how to do it. Teach your kids. Teach your wife. Don't be the person that buys all the equipment and then something happens and you throw it to one of your family members and say, hey, put this on me. And they're like, I don't know how to do this. And then they freak out. And that's just not good. So train and practice with it. Go to a Stop the Bleed class. Go to stopthebleed.com, and you can search for classes there. It is Stop the Bleed month. I think there are free classes all over the place that you can take, and they will teach you how to do this hands-on. If you can't find anybody, reach out, and if you're close, I'll come show you how to do it. It takes 10 minutes. It's easy peasy. Maybe I shouldn't commit to that. But pester David about putting on a class. Do that instead. Hi, David. I hope you enjoy what you're doing right now. I'm about to try to blow you up. So, and then go to direarmy.com and buy a med kit. They've got some pretty good stuff in them. They come with the tourniquet. And there you go. You got everything you need. So, one last thing. Don't spend all your money on bullets and canned beans. Buy some good medical equipment. Watch the news today. If it's May 9th, if you're not aware, today is going to be some sort of major announcement from Russia, either victory in Ukraine or an all-out declaration of war. And it could be a declaration of war. So hospital systems, I've already heard rumors of them pulling hospital resources to send to other places to help out, them being the governments. So there you go. There you have it for the Medical Monday for today. I am Brian. Thanks for coming by. Remember to do all the like, share, subscribe-y stuff. Tell your friends, tell your wife, tell everybody about it. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Done.